Good afternoon, Wayfinders, and welcome to our very first Network at Noon, your weekly midweek meetup for business insights, access, and connection. I am Naila Jackson, your network navigator, where we connect underestimated founders to resources, tools, and relationships they need to thrive. Today, we are kicking off our Network at Noon series with a powerful conversation about legal access. And that's something that often is overlooked, but is absolutely essential for small business success. And today, I'm joined by an incredible leader and advocate in Miss Tiffany Graves, pro bono counsel at Bradley. Tiffany and her team are doing amazing work to close the justice gap. And one of their offerings is a pro bono clinic specifically designed for Black owned small businesses and nonprofits in Alabama. So, Tiffany, welcome. We are so glad to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much, Naila. I'm glad to be with you today. I really appreciate this opportunity to share information about our pro bono clinic.
Awesome. So, I just want to give you an opportunity to just take a few moments and just tell people about yourself and your work with Bradley.
Sure. As you said, I'm pro bono counsel. And for those who may be unfamiliar with that title, my job is to provide opportunities for our lawyers to give back to the communities where we live and work through pro bono work. So I am constantly looking for ways for us to engage in work that serves others
Mhm.
and to fill gaps where there are no existing legal resources for individuals who need them. So that's my full-time position at Bradley. I've been in this role for over 7 years at the firm. Bradley has about 700 attorneys throughout the Southeast. Our largest office is in Birmingham. We do have three Alabama offices: Birmingham, Huntsville, and Montgomery. So we are principally based in Birmingham and very committed to the state, or principally based in Alabama, and very committed to serving fellow Alabamians with their legal needs. And this clinic is one way that we're able to do that.
Awesome, awesome. And Tiffany, I know this clinic is more than just about paperwork. So, can you kind of walk us through the mission of the clinic and how it came to be? We know who it serves, but
Yes.
just kind of what brought Bradley to the conclusion that this needed to be created?
Absolutely. And I'll step back and say, when we use the word clinic, essentially what we're saying is it's an opportunity for individuals who have legal questions or questions they may not even know are legal in nature to sit across from the screen or sit across from a table if it's an in person program and get advice and consult with an attorney. So we use the phrase clinic, but really it's just a consultation, an opportunity to talk with an attorney and ask your questions. And we kind of developed this clinic program. It started in our Nashville office back in 2021. Really on the heels of a lot of the racial unrest in the country. And when a lot of people, a lot of businesses were looking inward and saying, what are we doing to improve the plight of many in our community? And for Bradley, our focus became on how can we help business owners, small business owners who don't always have lawyers on staff
Yeah.
or even are connected with lawyers. How can we connect them to legal information, legal resources, legal advice? And that's kind of where the clinic was born, is in Nashville. So it started there January of 2021. We achieved so much success in Nashville that we thought we've got to bring this to Birmingham for many reasons. One, success rates among small businesses aren't the greatest. And two, Birmingham is our largest office. So we have many attorneys there who were interested in providing the same support to small business owners and nonprofit leaders in Birmingham that we were in Nashville. So we started the Birmingham clinic in April of 2022. And to answer your question, Naila, the mission of the clinic is really to provide legal support to small business owners, nonprofit leaders who would not otherwise have access to attorneys like the ones who work at Bradley. So, the topics that we cover are topics that we talked about with other people in the entrepreneur ecosystem in Birmingham.
Mhm.
We didn't just want to say, we want to cover these 4 or 5 things. We went to people like yourself
Mhm.
to say, what are the needs? Like, what gaps are we really feeling here? To make sure that this resource we were providing was really going to be useful and productive to those who needed it.
I love that. And we are excited that, Bradley is basically based in Alabama, but you love Birmingham so much of having your clinic here. So we appreciate that so much. So, what types of legal support will participants be able to access through this program?
Really great question. I would say the bulk of the people that we help through this clinic are people who are in the very early stages of thinking through a business concept. So they're coming to us with an idea, but aren't always sure if it's a for profit or a not for profit venture. And if it is for profit, is it an LLC that I need to set this up as? Is it an S Corp? Do I need to start out as a sole proprietorship and then as my business evolves, look to grow it into something else? So we are having those types of formation conversations, helping people really think through what's the best structure for you at this juncture. So formation's a big one. Contracts. Either people who are in the development, the creation process of putting together contracts, or who have contracts that they want us to review. And that can be consulting agreements, that can be vendor agreements. We will review leases if you are, potentially entering into, now we're going to have a bricks and mortar situation. Our business has evolved and now we've got a space, and we'd love to have a lawyer just look over this lease and let us know if this is in our best interest. So when I say contract, it really runs the gamut of tell me what sort of things should be included in contracts as I'm developing them, to I've got a contract and I would love to have your lawyers look at this, redline this, and let me know if this is in the best interest of my business. Another area is intellectual property.
Oh, wow.
Lots of people come to us who want trademarks. So that's another a big feature of our clinic is that we provide that intellectual property advice. And also we have people who have trademarks, but have trademarks that are being infringed upon by other businesses.
Mhm.
So another thing that we'll consult with you about is how to handle that situation. We actually have a client now who has 2 separate companies in 2 other states who are infringing upon her trademark. So we've got lawyers who every day do this work in their billable practices.
Mhm.
So it's fun for them, and meaningful for them to help people on the pro bono side, with those types of issues. So those are sort of the big 3. On the nonprofit side, we're going to review your bylaws and let you know what needs to be changed. On both sides, articles of incorporation, if you need to make some amendments, we can step you through what that process looks like. So the corporate governance is another big piece of what we do. People come to us and they just say, look, I've set up this LLC, but I don't know what I'm doing. And I just want to make sure that I'm staying in compliance with state and federal laws. We're going to tell you what those are, and we're going to tell you how to make sure you stay in compliance. So that's another area that we help a lot of people with at the clinic.
Awesome. So it looks like, and it sounds like, I'm sorry, that you touch on quite a few of those pain points, or that could be pain points
Mhm.
for entrepreneurs and small business owners. And this is such an invaluable opportunity, because the thousands and thousands of dollars that you would need to spend just to retain a person's time to review a contract
Mhm.
or to help you get your business structure set up, you have the opportunity to receive these services for free, and the opportunity to talk one-on-one with somebody, not with a machine, not with a chat
Mhm.
bot, right? Not
Yes,
knocking a chat bot, because they are very helpful in most instances.
that's
But a
right.
lot of times you're getting an individual who has experience, knowledge, education, and
Yes.
that can actually tell you exactly what you're working with and what is most beneficial for you. So that is really exciting. So the next step there is, so who's eligible for this, Tiffany? So how can a small business owner or a nonprofit apply, and what are those guidelines?
Yes, really, really good question. And you couldn't have said it better. A lot of what we're trying to do is be preventative. You know, when you come to us and say, I have an idea and I want to know how to, sort of make a business out of it, we love those conversations because we're going to step you through the process so you do it right the first time. And that's not to say that we're bothered when people come to us who've done it wrong and need to make some changes, but we are really happy to be a resource for people who are at the early stages of figuring this out and
Mhm.
don't want to make any mistakes. We can really provide that support. So we partner in Birmingham with Legal Services Alabama, and that is the statewide legal aid program. And our application for services is actually hosted on their website, and I believe we're going to drop a link to the website at some point, Naila.
Mhm.
So to get started, you will, click on that link. That'll bring you directly to the intake application. Complete that. Once you do, that goes to the staff at Legal Services Alabama, and they will conduct some screening. And one of the things they're looking for, we really only want to help small businesses and small nonprofits. So that means 10 or fewer employees. These businesses, because it is a Black owned small business and nonprofit community clinic, 50% Black ownership is another eligibility requirement.
Mhm.
And that you have your request for assistance falls within some of those things that you and I just talked about:
Mhm.
formation, contracts, trademark, governance. We're not doing anything in litigation. So if you're coming to us because you want to sue someone who didn't do X, Y, or Z, that's not what this is for. This is a purely what we refer to as transactional clinic. We want your sort of business related, and that's not to say those lawsuits aren't business related, because they are,
Mhm.
but we're really focusing on those areas that we discussed previously. So if you have something that is outside of that, we wouldn't be able to assist you at the clinic. And where we can, we try to refer people to other sources. So those are the main requirements. Because this is a pro bono initiative, and we want to make sure we're only helping people who wouldn't otherwise have access, wouldn't otherwise be able to pay an attorney to do what we're doing. There are some income requirements. And when you complete that application, legal aid will sort of go through those who are screened with what those are. And I don't want to get into what they are because there's a formula and all those kinds of things. But the long and short of it is, and I want this to be the takeaway, we do everything that we can to get people who want to be in the clinic, mostly because we recognize that we're providing us a resource that is not so readily available
Mhm.
to folks. So, we don't turn away many people, who most people who apply meet our eligibility requirements, all of the ones that I just outlined.
That is very comforting to hear. And I'm glad you made that, you drew that line in the sand of no litigations. We would
Yes.
love to help you there. So we will refer you out
Yes.
to a comparable partner and to help you get through that. So that is very pertinent information. And thank you so much for mentioning that, Tiffany.
Absolutely.
So, one of my last questions before we
Mhm.
wrap up is,
Mhm.
why is it so important, especially in this economic climate, for Black business owners and nonprofit leaders to have pro bono legal support like this that Bradley is providing?
Yes. Well, I think we're all too aware of the very dismal statistics around survival rates for small businesses, and anymore for nonprofit organizations, as in this particular climate, funding is becoming very, very sparse. Organizations that had funding sources that they've been able to count on for decades are now finding those same funding sources being stripped away from them.
Absolutely.
So people simply don't have the means, but we need these businesses in our Alabama economy.
Mhm.
We need these nonprofits providing services and supports to vulnerable and maligned members of our community who would not otherwise be able to have shelter, to have food, to have someone supporting them in any number of ways that are critical to all of our well being. So we need these businesses, we need these organizations. And what we try to do is make sure that these organizations are running in ways that will sustain them. And we do that, of course, in partnership and collaboration with entities like Network Navigator and so many other organizations. We're just one. Bradley is one organization of many in the very vibrant Birmingham community that are supporting small businesses and nonprofits. We try to do the legal piece. That's our lane. That's what we can do. That's how we can contribute to those who need it the most. And we have found tremendous meaning and fulfillment in offering this clinic to people in Alabama. We have, since we started in April 2022, have helped over 200 people through these consultations. And the beauty of the clinic is it's not a one-time thing. We let people know they can come back as many times as they need to make sure they feel good about how their business is operating, how their nonprofit's running. So this is more than just a one-time relationship. We're hoping that we really build some rapport and camaraderie with our clients, and that we're really able to help them get their businesses and organizations where they need and want them to be.
Awesome. Awesome. So Tiffany, if you don't mind, would you share a couple of the upcoming dates of that clinic? And is this an in-person, virtual? What's the procedure?
Yes. So our very next clinic is June 26th. And we do these clinics on the third Thursday of every month. The exception being November and December, because those days actually fall on the holidays. I said the third Thursday. Forgive me, Naila. The fourth Thursday of every month. We do third Thursday in Nashville.
Okay.
The fourth Thursday of every month at noon over the lunch hour. The exception, November and December, because those dates happen to fall on Thanksgiving and the Christmas holiday, respectively. So those actually are on the third Thursday in November and December. So fourth Thursday at noon, it is a virtual clinic. So just like you and I are doing here, that's what individuals have the opportunity to do over Zoom or telephone if that's your preference. And we always have a team of at least 2 attorneys, usually a more junior attorney and one of our more senior attorneys, who are in that particular practice area. So if you bring a lease, I'm going to have real estate attorneys meeting with you. If you bring in a trademark issue, you're going to be meeting with intellectual property attorneys who do this every day. So it is virtual, fourth Thursday of every month. Next one is June 26th. Then we'll have another one in July, August, and so on. So every month. And like I said, we do everything we can to get those who want to be a part of this program into the clinic.
Perfect. I love the opportunity to continue coming back, because that one time may not be the 100% resolution to what you're looking for or what you need. Exactly. So I'm very excited about being able to share this resource and this opportunity, because legal is one of those things that trips people up. And a lot of time we spend a lot of time Googling, and we're not getting the full story because we're not able to share all of the details, right? When we're Googling, we're just getting surface level. So this is really a great piece that's being added to our ecosystem. And I know it's not new, but we want more people to be aware of it and to take advantage of it. So guys, if you're a small business owner or a nonprofit leader in need of legal guidance, and you've been putting it off because of cost or complexity of having access to it, this is your sign to connect with Bradley's Pro Bono Clinic. We're going to drop the link in the comments in just a moment for you to sign up. And we'll also include it in our bi-weekly newsletter that goes out for Network Navigator. So Tiffany, thank you for being our very first guest and for the incredible work that you're leading through the Bradley Pro Bono Clinic. Your dedication to changing lives and building stronger businesses across Alabama is very much appreciated. So what's that link for our people?
Yes, I'm going to pull it up here, Naila. I should have copied and pasted it before now, so forgive me.
Okay.
So I need to put this in the comments, right?
Yeah.
Or can I do that? Am I able to do that?
Do you see the comments? If not, I can add it from over here.
Okay, I may have to have you add it from over there.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Shout that link out. We'll get it.
Yes.
Okay.
Wonderful. I put it in the private chat, so
I
hopefully that
got it.
goes to you. Okay,
I
good.
got it. I
Wonderful.
do. So here it is, guys. It is now in the comments for you to access. Please go ahead, sign up. June 26th is the next one. So we will be looking forward to helping you in that application process. You will be letting Bradley know, or legal services know, what it is that you're wanting to meet about, so that they will be prepared to have the right type of attorney available to you. So be as detailed as you can in your
Mhm.
description of what your needs are. Thank you so much again, Tiffany, for joining me today and being my first guest. Thank
Yes,
you so
thank you
much.
for the opportunity. And you have been such a strong supporter of this clinic, and I'm so very grateful.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate your support. Thank you for coming to Network Navigator Day. I'm heard great things about people being able to connect with you guys at the table. So thank you so much. And Network Navigator is here to support you in anything that you need, and continuing to push people towards the clinic.
Thank you.
But that wraps up our first episode of Network at Noon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back next Wednesday, same time, same place, more resources, more insights, real conversations to help you grow and scale. But until then, keep building boldly, and remember, you are the legacy. See you next week.